Hello, I'm Dr. Jeanette Raymond, psychologist and psychotherapist, relationship expert, here with the fourth in my series on power differentials in romantic couples. And today I'm going to talk to you about how food and eating can be used to dis- disempower your partner and/or create more power for yourself when you're feeling insecure. And the couple I'm going to talk to you about are Rita and Andy. So, Rita loved cooking and feeding and entertaining, and food was very important in her family growing up. It was a way of family gathering, giving and taking. Sitting around the table and breaking bread was a important ritual, and they used it as a way of connection. But they also used food as a way of not dealing with their feelings. So when there was something upsetting someone or there was sadness, instead of talking about it, they would stuff themselves with more food, as a way of comforting themselves. And so it became okay. It wasn't taboo. What was taboo was creating conflict by disagreeing or being assertive or trying to be yourself in a big family, which was difficult. So she had grown up where food was used as a comfort and as a connection. But when she met Andy, she discovered that he was not of the same ilk. He did not find food comforting, and he did not find her way of trying to give of herself by cooking elaborate meals or spending a lot of time in the kitchen, creating romantic dinners, and so on and so forth. Um, and of course, Rita felt very bad about refusing or saying she didn't want any more, or she'd had enough, or not to go to so much trouble, because it meant she was rejecting him. That's how Andy perceived it. Because the food was really him. It was the vehicle through which he was giving to her. And if she refused the food or only ate a little bit of it or didn't want any more, he felt it as a very personal, intimate rejection. And so she was able to feel empowered by refusing it, and just using it when she needed to comfort herself, just like she did growing up. But it wasn't a social thing. It became a way of separating herself from him, because he wanted to use food as a way of asserting his power over her, that he could give her all these things about himself, stuff her with him, because the food was technically him. He would stuff her with him and then keep her lodged in a place where she could never be an individual, where he would never feel threatened with abandonment, or that she could be seduced by any other interests in the world, even her own family or children or work or whatever. He was so scared that if he didn't use food to stuff her and keep her kind of, in his orbit, that he didn't have anything else to give, and that she would find something much more interesting and leave. So he tried to use food as a way of exerting power, and she tried to use food as she used her refusal as a way of trying to keep herself separate, but also use food to comfort herself, but do it alone. So she excluded him, and that was his fear of being excluded. So he tried to stuff her. So you can see how intricate um, these dynamics are, and how difficult it is to tease out. And of course, they would never talk about it. Nobody wanted to hurt each other's feelings. She didn't want to make him feel bad because he was doing all this for her, showing his love, and he didn't want to feel like he was trying to force something on her, or he didn't want to feel that he was vulnerable to her refusal, that everything depended on whether she said, yes, I like it, give me more, or no, I don't, I'm full, or I've had enough, or whatever. So nobody wanted to talk about the real issue, which was, can you be yourself and give of yourself, and yet be um, okay with each person saying what's enough, what's too much, what's too little, and how there might be other ways of giving and sharing and taking. Because there was no sharing in this couple, Rita and Andy. It was about him wanting to stuff her to make sure she never went anywhere, and he had her all to himself. And it was her attempt to disallow him from doing that, to try to stop him from using his power that way. But she used it to exclude him. She used the food to exclude him so that she could use it only for comfort. In other words, you, Andy, you can't comfort me, only food. And he used food to say, you need to eat all this food because I've made it, and if you don't, that means you don't love me and you don't accept me. Very difficult situation, which has to be worked out in a possible therapeutic situation where each person's vulnerabilities, their shame, their anxieties, and their fears can be um, unraveled and reprogrammed. So I will see you in my next program on power differentials next month. Okay, bye for now.